Whether you know that the Earth is a globe or whether you know that the Earth is flat, give me 3 minutes of your time and you can literally change the world for the better. And if you don't care what shape it is and you think it doesn't matter, then please hear me out and I'll explain exactly why it does matter. Whatever evidence globers provide, flat earthers will never believe it. And whatever evidence flat earthers provide, globers will never believe it. Because we've all conditioned to be that way. It's deliberate, and I'll get to that in a minute. On the globe model, the Antarctic continent takes up a relatively small part of the globe, right at the bottom, and the coastline is at about 10,000 miles long. Okay. On the flat Earth model, obviously it's very different. The Antarctic ice wall goes all the way around the outside, encompassing every continent on Earth, and is approximately 78,000 miles long. That's quite a difference, right? So what if we could prove it for ourselves once and for all, without anyone official being involved, without either side being able to call foul or that's cheating? So here's what I propose. We get half a dozen of the most famous and outspoken globers, half a dozen of the most famous and outspoken flat earthers, and we put 3 of each into 2 different aeroplanes. All right, we start them off at the same point, and those 2 aeroplanes fly off in opposite directions, following the coastline, which means they'll meet approximately halfway round on the other side. So on both models, supposing they set off from the closest point to Chile, and halfway round they're both going to meet up somewhere around Tasmania. All right, the difference will be the distance they've traveled and how far and how long it will take them to get there. So supposing, for argument's sake, that those both planes are traveling at 500 miles an hour, then on a globe Earth model, they'll both have to cover 5,000 miles, which is about 10 hours. And on a flat Earth model, they both have to travel 39,000 miles, which is about 78 hours before they meet up. Now that's a huge difference and a huge margin of error. Now this is complicated slightly by the fact that allegedly there is a 90-kilometer no-fly, no-sail exclusion zone around the Antarctic coastline. So both planes would have to travel 100 kilometers from the coastline, which means obviously if it's a globe, then they'll have to travel a further distance. If it's flat, they'll have to travel less distance. But supposing that if they meet up anything less than 20 hours, the Earth is definitely a globe, right? If they meet up anything after 60 hours, the Earth is very definitely flat. Now, if you give all 12 of those passengers a live feed camera, video camera, and also maybe there's one in the cockpit so they can see the distance traveled as well, all right, then there's no cheating, and one side or the other at the end of this journey, when those 2 planes meet up, is going to have to say what seems to be the 3 hardest words in this modern clown world: I was wrong. Now this won't cost a great deal of money, relatively speaking, but I would finance it in an instant if I had the money. I'm homeless and I can't even afford a pair of socks. So this is what I'm asking you to do. You don't need to like this, you don't need to follow me, but please repost it, save the video, and share it to absolutely everybody you know on every single social media post and platform you have, and then start petitioning, lobbying and bombarding the rich and famous, people who can afford to do this, to get it done. I'm thinking particularly the rich and famous who claim to be of the people and for the people. So maybe the likes of Donald Trump, maybe the likes of Mr. Twitter, sorry, Mr. X, Jordan Peterson, David Icke, Joe Rogan, your favourite sports stars, your favourite movie stars, pop stars, celebrities, anyone who's got deep enough pockets to do this and an interest in actually finding out the truth. Because here's why it matters. The powers that be have got the capability to do this. They've had the capability for many, many years, and they won't do it. Why? Globers will say, because they don't need to. We all know from NASA and all the rest of that stuff. And flat earthers will say, because they know it's a lie. Okay, how do we find out the truth unless we get it done ourselves? Because the powers that be don't want everybody to know the truth. Okay, and now I'm not saying it's one reason or the other, but the point is, it's an artificial fence that keeps everybody divided. Okay, in the same way as sex, age, religion, race, gender, party politics, vax, unvaxxed, it's all artificial fences to divide the masses, divide and rule, right? Because as long as everybody's arguing with each other, then nobody's looking at who's really responsible for this shit show that we call the modern world, right? So whether it turns out to be a globe or whether it turns out to be flat, the point is we will all know. It will be the one thing that will unify the masses, all the people on Earth. And here's why it really matters. Virtually everyone will be familiar with the Star Wars films. And at the end of the first film, the all-powerful, seemingly invulnerable, invincible Death Star is destroyed by one inherent weakness, right? And it transpires later in the series that that inherent weakness, that Achilles heel, was deliberately incorporated into the design by the creator. Are you with me? Now they say there's an easy way and a hard way of doing everything, alright? I stopped participating 3 years ago, and I've been out in the forests ever since, imagining, dreaming up and creating something truly amazing. But no one has ever asked me in those 3 years what it is I'm doing out here. Not even my birth family, my soul family, or my closest friends. Okay, so we'll have to do it the hard way. So if you can get this experiment done and provide proof once and for all, then you will destroy that metaphorical Death Star. You will not only break free from the Matrix, but you will break the Matrix, which will allow New Earth to come into existence with its infinite possibilities for the abundance and prosperity for all living creatures on Earth. I think that's worth doing. But I'm out of mobile data, I'm out of money, I'm out of time, and frankly, I'm out of patience. So this is Ecotopia, signing off. I love you all, and have a fabulous day.